Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to understand a tutor contest problem from a daily contest is a maximum area of longest diagonal rectangle. Okay, so what we have given, very first try to understand that we have given several, you can say, rectangles and each with a length and width. As you can see, this is length and width. So this is what we have given, and we have to return the area of the rectangle having the longest diagonal we have to return. Okay, means the maximum area we can say. Okay, so let's go through first the statement, then we'll understand the example. Okay, the question is saying that you are given a 2D index integer array that is called dimensions. So these are the dimensions for each uh, what you call rectangles we have given. Okay, and for all indices, that is from I greater than 0, greater than equal to 0 and less than dimension length, we have dimension that I and 0 represent the length of dimension I and 1. You understand this, right? I0 and I1. It represents the width of the rectangle I. Okay, so the area of rectangle we have to return having the longest diagonal. If there are multiple diagonals with the longest diagonal, return the area of the rectangle having the maximum area. Very first, let's understand the rectangle. This is what we call the rectangle, where we have the we can say length and this is your width. Okay, so say for the diagonal, we can say this is the diagonal. So there is two diagonal and both are equal, right? So if we talk about only one diagonal, let's for now we can say this is the diagonal, right? And we know how to find the diagonal for this length, right? Mathematically, if you know the trigonometry, right, it's also say if this is a triangle, right, how to find the triangle, how to find this one, right? So we know that if we call A, B and C, right, we call C, let's suppose, or in this case let's have BC equal to AC square plus AB square, right? And we used to do like this. You can give the name anything. You can take the A and C. We used to say AC equal to AB square plus BC square, like that we used to say, right? But for now, let's so this is our the thing diagonal. So in the same, in the rectangle, we also used to do the diagonal is equal to length square plus width square. This is the same thing we used to do in the trigonometry, right? This is what we have, right, to find the diagonal. So here we see this is coming as a vertical, the square root, right? But when we write the code, that is not required. Why? Let's understand. Let me clean it. Okay, so let's suppose I was talking about the diagonal, right? And I said diagonal square is L square and W square. Okay, and if we'll say only diagonal, right, and this will become square root, right? So we are not actually computing the true diagonal, right, with the square root, right? Instead of that, we will be computing its square. It means this one we are talking about. Okay, so the actual value is this one, right? But we need to calculate this one. Why? Understand. When we compute the diagonal, the square root is unnecessary. Let's say if we have A and it is greater than B, then we can say square root of A is also greater than square root of B. So if we compare L into L, that is L square, plus W into W, that is W square, length square, this square, that is called, that we can say like this one. So this will work. The same way we are computing the diagonal, but we have to avoid the floating point, right? If we want to floating point, we have to avoid, right? So for that, we have to use this one and not this one. Understand? Let's understand through the example. So if I'll take here length, let's suppose I'll take 8 and width I will take 6. Okay, so I'll say diagonal square equal to 64 plus 36 equal to 100, and this is, if you take the square root, let's suppose for now, if you if you want to find the diagonal, right, how we are going to find 100? Square root of 100 is 10. Understand? Similarly, if I'll take another one, let's call L, we will take is 9 and width will be take 3. So here diagonal square will become what? 81 plus 9 is nothing but 90, right? And this will become what? If you take the diagonal only, it will give you how many? Approximately 9 point something it will come, right? XY, I will take XY, 9.xy. Here, if you observe these values, 100 is greater than 90, right? So we know the first rectangle, that is this one, has a longer diagonal, right? Without even using the square root, right? This is 100 and this is coming 90, right? Can we say that if it is coming 90, still it is a lower than this one, right? Means we don't need to get the square root. Okay, I hope you understand. So let's come back to the question again. What we are saying, we have given several rectangles, we have given like this, right, with its length and its width we have given. Okay, so for each rectangle we need to compute its diagonal, right? So when we want to find the diagonal, right, for each rectangle, we can compute its diagonal using what? Pythagoras theorem, right? That we know diagonal is root of L square plus W square, but that is not required. We can directly say diagonal square equal to L square plus W square. We'll use this value itself, right? So we want the rectangle with the longest diagonal, and if we have more than one rectangle has the same diagonal, we will pick the rectangle with the largest area, and finally we'll return the rectangles, right? Means if we talk about this one and this one, let's suppose both have the same one, right? So we'll find the whose area is greater than, right? So in this case, if you see, if you find this one coming approximately 9 point, this is coming and this is coming, right? We take the square root. So rectangle has one has a greater diagonal, therefore we'll return the area. 8 into 6 will do, and we'll return the 48. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. Let's understand how I have done. Okay, so what you need to do, very first you have to find, you have given what dimensions we have given, so we'll take the max diagonal and max area, and this is what we have to return. So you have to return max area, right? And for all dimension we will take one rectangle at a time. Okay, so rectangle at 0, a rectangle at 1, you can get the length and width. We know L into L and W into W will give you the diagonal, right? And if you want to, or the area, you just need to multiply L into W, right? Length into height in length into width. We'll check if diagonal is coming greater than the max diagonal, means this will be already updated all the time, right? So we are swapping the value, so it should be, we will get the max diagonal and max area like this, you will get. Okay, in the else condition we'll have the max area like this if it is equal, and so finally we'll return the max area. Okay, I hope you understand. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section and we'll understand, we'll try to make you understood. Okay, thank you guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.